there will be much more coverage of day 4 of the Trump impeachment trial on the CBS Evening News, and we'll also have a recap and a look ahead tonight at 11 o'clock.
And back to the virus now. We've been seeing some nasty weather here, but in other parts of the southeast and even up north, they're dealing with some true winter weather.
Because of icy roads and snow, that weather is having a trickle-down effect, slowing down the shipments of vaccines. News 12's Brady Trapnell talks to our local hospitals on whether will be impacted here.
Here in Aiken County, AU Health vaccinated around 1,000 people today, and tomorrow in Augusta, they'll vaccinate around 1,500 more. Officials say the only thing slowing them down at this point is vaccine supply. The weather here is much different than up north, but that's where vaccines are coming from.
Any delays in shipping would not be expected to impact those visits that are scheduled already with AU Health.
Dr. Joshua White is the director of pharmacy for AU. He says appointments will go on as scheduled because they already have enough vaccine on hand. At University Hospital, officials say no vaccine is delayed yet, but they aren't getting the numbers they're asking for, and neither is AU. Sometimes it's higher or lower than requested.
Our hope is that as the state receives more vaccine, whether it's the Pfizer, Moderna, or additional vaccines, that our request for the number that we ask for on a weekly basis will ultimately be the same as what we receive.
Soon, our local hospitals could get multiple different types of vaccines. Johnson & Johnson and AstraZeneca vaccines are preparing for FDA approval.
Will all be high-quality vaccines. They'll offer a high level of effectiveness that we all would have been very, very happy with at the very beginning of this.
As Phase 1A Plus continues, the federal government is suggesting there may be enough vaccine available by the end of April to get rid of the phased approach.
You know, I certainly, at this point in time, would not feel confident enough on what I know to be saying that that's the most likely outcome. But if it is, it'd certainly be wonderful.
AU Health already has multiple vaccination clinics scheduled for next week. You can sign up online through their registration site. We'll have that info on our website, wrdw.com. Reporting in Aiken, Brady Trapnell on your side.
And in a news conference earlier this afternoon, DHEC said all shipments in South Carolina for the coming week arrived last night, so that is a good sign for when it comes to delays.
Tonight, we are hearing from South Carolina Superintendent Molly Spearman on reopening schools and getting teachers vaccinated. She believes teachers should be next in line for vaccines, but still doesn't believe vaccinations are necessary to get schools back to 5-day in-person learning.
I support that teachers and educators be given priority in the vaccination immediately. While vaccination is not a prerequisite for opening schools, and I've been very clear about that, the evidence stands behind us that schools can operate safely. Receiving the vaccine is critical for keeping schools open and staffed appropriately.
In both South Carolina and Georgia, school employees are currently listed in Phase 1B of the state rollouts, but there's still no clear timeline of exactly when people in Phase 1B will be able to get a COVID vaccine.
And the Richmond County school system making moves to protect employees on the job. This week, the CDC ordered a federal mask mandate for all public transportation. Richmond County had its own requirement in place all year long, but some bus drivers say to this point it really has not been enforced. Our Cindy Heiberger spoke with the district about how they're working to change that.
The district tells me they've had 18 compliance violations on school buses since the beginning of the school year. Now, they aren't able to say how many of those were related to mask wearing, but they do say going forward, enforcement will be more strict. It started with concerns brought to the district's attention at a school board meeting.
My concern was one that I had 3 bus drivers come to me concerned that the students weren't wearing masks like they needed to wear them on the bus.
Bus drivers expressing frustrations, saying schools weren't doing much to enforce the district's mask requirement.
We needed to make sure that the students were wearing masks, and that we also needed, if a bus driver reported it, we needed the principals to support the bus drivers.
District spokeswoman Lynthia Ross says the vast majority of students comply with the school bus mask requirement. But for those that didn't, consequences weren't concrete.
So it's more of a community approach. Bus drivers could, of course, always talk with principals, and principals talk with parents.
Now, with a federal requirement on the table, the district says enforcement will be more systemic. Now they say they'll be referring to the Student Code of Conduct to handle infractions.
It's a progressive discipline approach.
The handbook recommends a verbal warning for the first offense, then a note home. And if it happens a third time, the student could be suspended from riding the bus.
Whatever tools they have, we need to use them to ensure that the district as a whole is safe.
Reporting in Augusta, Sydney Heiberger, on your side.
And the district says they're going to start their new guidelines after sending letters out to parents next week.
A Burke County teacher is on administrative leave after being arrested for aggravated assault and cruelty to children. We first told you about Rashad Carter yesterday. He's a teacher at Burke County Middle School. Officials say he's accused of assaulting a student in the hallway during an early dismissal. In a statement from the school system, they say they're cooperating with law enforcement in this active investigation. Carter's been employed by the county since 2007.
New at 6 o'clock, we're hearing from Augusta Mayor Hardy Davis about a possible pay raise for him. Looking forward to it, Kennedy. Thanks very much. The Atlanta Braves, the Augusta Green Jackets, official partners now. The Green Jackets just accepting that formal invitation to become the low-A affiliate of the Atlanta Braves. It is a 10-year agreement which anchors the Green Jackets to SRP Park in North Augusta, while kicking off the start of what will be a whole new connection between those two baseball organizations.
We're getting you connected with the 450 new jobs coming to Edgefield County. Generac Power Systems just announcing its plans to open operations in Trenton. Over the next couple of months, the company says it will be hiring for hundreds of positions. If you're interested and you want to take a look at the kind of jobs available, we have the link posted for you online. Also, our app, just search Generac.
All throughout the pandemic, we've seen our rural counties struggling with everything from internet access to nearby testing sites and now access to vaccine signups.
It is a healthcare problem that's only been magnified because of COVID. But as our Celeste Springer shows us, the Medical College of Georgia is stepping in to help.
Our rural communities are some of the most underserved when it comes to healthcare, but some local providers are stepping up to make sure that there's equity in healthcare, both in and out of the ER. The supplies you see here are about to be shipped out to doctors nationwide.
We are sending kits to each one of the participants that gives them supplies, and we're going to teach them by video how to perform the procedure.
The Medical College of Georgia is hosting their yearly training session for ER doctors in rural areas on life-saving ER procedures.
While these physicians have had training in it, they may not be able to keep up their skills. So this is a skills course so that they can keep up with the newest, best ways to do these procedures.
This year, training has gone virtual, which has allowed people to participate for the first time all the way from the West Coast. Meanwhile, Rural Health Services is amping up vaccination efforts in areas away from the city.
It's important we have that we have these local events in these rural communities to meet the people where they are, to show them that, we care about them and then we want them to have the service.
They say education is a big part of their vaccine efforts. They're also working to help people in rural areas who have trouble getting online to sign up.
We ask individuals to just call our office here, and we will walk them through. We will ask their name. We'll get them registered. If they do not have an email and they need one, we will create one for them.
They hope their community-driven approach will help create connections in areas typically at a disadvantage. MCG says there is so much interest nationally in their online session this year that even after COVID is a thing of the past, they'll continue to host virtual sessions. In Augusta, Celeste Springer, on your side.
Rural Health Services says they'll be hosting another vaccine clinic at Second Baptist Church in Aiken next Thursday, the 18th. You must be 65 or older still, but you can call the number on your screen to sign up.
Happening tomorrow, a final farewell to beloved James Brown MC and famous caveman Danny Ray. Ray died last Tuesday from natural causes, 85 years old. And tomorrow there's a viewing for Ray starting at 10 o'clock in the morning. The funeral service actually follows that at 11 o'clock at the James Brown Arena. If you want to pay your respects, the service will be live streamed on the James Brown Family Foundation's Facebook page, so look for the video there.
Before we head to break here, we want to give a quick shout out to Karen Ellistad. She lives here in Augusta, and she'll be on one of Jeopardy's episodes next week. Here she is with current host Ken Jennings. We're still working to find out which day she will be on, but we'll keep you posted, and we certainly wish her good luck.
All right, heading into this weekend, we're going to be watching the
Sometimes our soulmates are people. Sometimes they might have a winter coat. But how you can make your own Valentine's Day love connection coming up next.
Grateful of where we came from. The accident wasn't your fault, but calling an inexperienced lawyer, that's an insurance company.
Well, maybe you don't have a Valentine this year, or maybe there's so much love in the air, you're looking to give out even more X's and O's than usual.
Either way, the Aiken County Animal Shelter's got just the thing for you. How about ditching the date and adopting a dog? That is the idea behind their adoption event tomorrow. And check out all of these cuties in need of a good home. They just need some tender, loving care this Valentine's Day. No matter what kind of dog you're looking for, the shelter says they are sure to have your soulmate.
Whether if it's a big, happy-go-lucky, giving you wet kisses with their wet nose, or shy, just older, younger, hyper, laid back, they're here. Come check the Aiken County Animal Shelter out. They're here.
Dog adoptions are $35 all weekend long, and that includes shots, spaying and neutering, microchips, even a free pet grooming. The shelter asks you give them a call before you show up, and the number to do that is on your screen.
Such a sweet bunch of animals. Once you look in their eyes, it's over.
They've got you on the hook.
It's over. Let's have a look outside.
Thursday with our next round of rain. Guys, we'll send things back to you.
If you're looking for ways to celebrate Black History Month here in Augusta, check out the Richmond County School System's website. These are pictures from their Our Story series, and here they're telling the history and stories of important African-American icons from right here in the Garden City. Some of the names include names you'll definitely recognize, like opera legend Jesse Norman, others like Dr. Ike and Dr. Justine Washington.
Still to come, they were the first black high school team to win the Georgia State Basketball Championship. We're going to hear from a man who was there to see it all. Plus a young basketball star with a very special story to share out of Richmond County when we come back with sports.
New Detroit style today. No one outpieces the Hut. The Live by Camera Network is brought to you by Mountaineer Pest Services. On your sideline, sports brought to you by the Hawk Law Group.
After making a deep run in the state playoffs just a season ago, it's been an off year for the Glen Hills basketball team. Despite the struggles, there is one special player who's giving the team something to play for day in and day out.
A kid like Demetrion makes you feel good about getting up and working in the morning and not making excuses.
Demetrion Ruffin is a special needs student at Glen Hills High School, though he's found his groove with the Spartan basketball team.
I find that he finds himself comfortable with the rest of the team because they're doing something that everybody can do, play basketball. And once he's around them, it's naturally for him to kind of follow suit.
Ruffin is a natural shooter and has a great idol to look up to in Steph Curry. After scoring his first varsity points earlier this week, Ruffin wants to take it even further.
What do you kind of want to do with basketball in the future?
It's not basketball feature, shot three, NBA, shot three, shot BA.
Demetrion accomplished one of his future goals on Wednesday, sinking a three-pointer in the Spartans game against Westside. Coach Cunningham is giving him great expectations for the rest of his high school career and hopes it'll go beyond that.
I think he can be as good as any player in Richmond County. It's just all about if we can structure a team around him. We know now that special education students are able to go on to college, and it's the wish of minds and the administration that Demetrion might have that opportunity.
A very inspirational young man. Demetrion also wears number 30 in honor of Steph Curry. Plenty more sports coming up later tonight, but first, a look at a historic achievement out of Savannah.
Exactly, Mike. Sticking with the sports theme here, back in 1967, Beach High School in Savannah making history, becoming the first black school to win Georgia State Basketball Championship.
The big win was a major moment for the city of Savannah, the Peach State, and its black communities. Tonight, Tim Guidera talks to a man who was there to witness it all.
It was 3 o'clock in the morning in downtown Savannah when 10-year-old Morris Bryant saw something he had never seen before.
I'll never forget it. When they came off that train and raised that trophy, it was pandemonium out here. I mean, it was a sea of people, actually, 4,000 people.
They were there in the middle of the night to welcome and celebrate the 1967 Beach High School basketball team, the first black school to win a state championship in Georgia. Bryant was among the crowd there when the Nancy Hanks, the steam train that ran between Savannah and Atlanta, brought the champs home.
My father graduated from Beach, and he was so excited. He said, you know what, we got to go down there and greet them. And the beautiful part about that was there were black fathers bringing their families to witness this thing, man. It was a great moment in Black history for the city of Savannah and for the Black community.
Bryant has followed high school basketball in Savannah for 50 years and says he has never seen another team like the Beach 67 state champs. But that night in downtown Savannah 54 years ago was about more than basketball. For Bryant and a lot of others, it was the first time he had seen young black men embraced and celebrated by their hometown.
Oh man, they were superheroes when they came home. They were superheroes. It was some tough times for black folks back then. I mean, you had a governor, Lester Maddox, who was actually a sympathizer for white supremacy. That's why it took him so long to allow black high schools to participate. So it was a fantastic time. It was for black folks in Savannah. They were so proud.
And Bryant's father let him know just how proud he was in that moment.
He put his arms around me, and he said, "Son, what you're witnessing now," he said, this is how he put it, "I'll be dead and gone." But he said, "They'll be talking about this for years and years to come," because Beach High School was the first black high school to win a state championship.
And Brian, he would actually go on to play basketball and win a state championship himself at Savannah High School, Beach's biggest rival.
But here we are still talking about it. But he says he never lost his sense of awe for the Bulldogs' 1967 championship team. Quite a legacy.
Yeah, great moment there.
Well, as we continue on through this weekend,